Intense, gritty, relentless. These are terms that often get thrown around when discussing movies, especially war movies. 2014's Fury takes these to the next level and more. I want to add one more description to this list. Brutal. That was the one word I kept thinking of when I was watching Fury for the first time a few weeks ago. This is an absolutely brutal film, as perhaps it should be. For 2 hours, I had a window into the lives of 5 American World War II soldiers as they fight the Germans on their own turf from the inside of a tank. What I saw made me feel claustrophobic, anxious, and so grateful for the sacrifice people like this have made over the years so that I don't have to. Some films have a tendency to romanticize war or violence. This is the complete opposite. After watching Fury, nobody can be under any illusions about the absolutely brutal nature of war. The film's cinematography and directorial choices significantly enhance its impact. Ayer employs a gritty visual style, capturing the harshness of the war-torn landscapes and intense tank battles. The use of muted colours and desaturated tones contributes to the film's realism, immersing the audience in the grim atmosphere of the battlefield. The choice of close-quarter cinematography during tank scenes intensifies the feeling of claustrophobia and danger, offering a unique perspective on armoured warfare rarely seen in cinema. It can be difficult to transport a comfortable modern-day audience to this point. Fury does this by brilliantly allowing us to view the warfare through the lens of a gateway character, Norman Ellison. Norman is a young man with a comfortable desk job until he's thrown into the hellscape that is Germany in April 1945. Norman is most of us if we were thrown into this situation. He's naive, vulnerable, and is repulsed at the thought of violence. It doesn't matter who he is, where he's come from, or what job he did, he's a soldier now. He's assigned to a staff sergeant who doesn't want him and a crew that resents him. Don, War Daddy Collier, is played brilliantly by Pitt, who always surprises me with his performances. War Daddy commands an M4 Sherman tank which bears the nickname of Fury and serves as a home for him and his crew. Shia LaBeouf plays tank gunner Boyd Bible Swan. LaBeouf sometimes comes in for criticism for his roles, but he's actually excellent here, as is John Bernthal. He's always so good at playing this kind of menacing, unhinged role. The main cast is rounded off by Michael Pena, who plays Trini Gordo Garcia. This character unsettled me somewhat, as I'm so used to seeing Pena as comic relief in the Ant-Man movies. He's anything but here. Now, what I'll say is that this is a film of two halves. The first half is that descent into the madness and brutality of war as seen through the eyes of Private First Class Norman Ellison. The deeper Fury rolls into the heart of Germany, the more intense and claustrophobic the action becomes. The film takes a breather in a small German town. We're shown Norman's innocence as he very quickly forms a bond with a local German girl. The actions and demeanour of some of the crew at the dinner table scene is frankly disturbing. They have a twisted camaraderie in a scene that is packed with tension. These are supposed to be the good guys, but if it wasn't for the influence of War Daddy, I'd dread to think what might have happened. War has broken these men, and they are far from the heroes we might see in other war films. That innocence we saw in Norman is taken away with Emma's death shortly after they meet, and the film is changed following this change within Norman. The second half is a little more Hollywood, I would say. We're given some unrealistic yet highly entertaining battles. I really enjoy history, but I'm no expert on tank warfare or tactics, etc. I can only go off what comments I've read online about the confrontation with the German Tiger tank. What I read is that such a battle unfolding as it did is perhaps a little unrealistic, but I think everyone agrees it was a fantastic scene. I'd love to hear from anyone in the comments how accurate this battle really was. I have to say though, the crew's last stand on a broken down Fury against 200 SS soldiers gives me mixed feelings. On the one hand, it's the kind of epic final battle you might expect from a star-studded Hollywood war movie. On the other, it makes me question the consistency of the characters, which is usually a bad sign with the writing. Maybe it's in character for them to stay and face certain death. I'd be interested in hearing your guys' views, but I just don't know. Why would you stay with the tank instead of making a break for it? They could even have hidden. The German soldiers looked like they were happy to just pass through until they were alerted to the presence of the American soldiers. On Reddit, I saw references to a real-life incident that may or may not have influenced this last stand in the movie, but I'm not sure how I feel about it. It just feels at odds with what I've seen leading up to this point. The crew all die except for Norman, who is given a second chance at life, which I think is fair. Those broken men leaving their lives on the battlefield feels fitting, even if the circumstances didn't, in my opinion. It's a shame, because in most of the audience reviews, you'll read about the inaccuracy of these last two battles, and I think they overshadow what I think, on the whole, is actually a really decent film. I've seen it described as a Vietnam War movie set in World War II, and I get it. It's a film full of war movie cliches, but I think it does them well. I think it's a film well worth checking out if you've not done so already. It's one I put off for a while until Netflix informed me that it would soon be leaving the service, which prompted me to give it a go. If nothing else, it certainly left an impression. I've been Sean, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.
Come out to the coast, we'll get together, have a few laughs.